Oh, hey there. Welcome to Trinity Series Season 2 Finals, day number 2. We've gathered 8 teams at the beginning of the season, months ago, to battle down to just 4 remaining. And today is Elimination Day. Who's going to advance to the Grand Finals? Who's going home? And we're playing for $150,000. Just 2 days ago, Kobolds and Catacombs has released, and we're playing with the new fresh set. Plenty of surprises, and cool decks are yet to be seen. Our 2 teams in the winner's bracket, which will begin the day, will be Team LUL off of a dominating performance over Team Liquid, and Virtus.pro, who were able to narrowly squeak out a victory over reigning champions Team Complexity. Not to be feared for those teams, they will be playing in the lower bracket, but they only have 1 chance left. Can they survive and claim themselves a championship day on Sunday? $150,000 was mentioned. That is on the line. $75,000 for first place. But don't worry, if you're 3rd and 4th place, you still get $15,000. But of course, they want to play for a lot more than that. Let's go ahead and head over to Trinity tonight with TJ, who's waiting with a couple of our players for our first match.
Thanks very much, Frodan. That's right. I'm joined with 2 of the players who are playing in the first match today. Zalay from Team LUL and Bunny Hopper from Virtus.pro. I'll ask you guys, Zalay, what did last night look like for you? What you guys had a chance to resubmit decks today. What did you guys do?
So last night we walked around for like an hour trying to find some place to eat, then like another hour because we got kind of lost. It was very confusing trying to navigate the city. Oh, should I talk about Hearthstone? Yeah, we talked about Hearthstone a little bit. We did more of it this morning. Like, it's helpful to do it in the morning when there's just more data available.
Mm-hmm. And Bunny Hopper, I'm going to ask you to reveal all of your deepest, darkest Hearthstone secrets from yesterday.
That we tested?
Yeah,
we tested.
You tested a lot. Why don't you give us a diversion tactic? Give us some of the decks that you tested, but lie or don't lie about it.
That we're not going to play?
Yeah.
Corridor
We're going to play all of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And also, we have Frodan joining us today. Admirable is actually out sick.
Yeah.
Which means that me and Dan are going to be pulling overtime today. So you'll see us around a lot. But how are you feeling, Zalay? You feeling good about your upcoming match today?
Yeah, pretty confident. I think this is a tournament that really rewards preparation work, and my teammates are some of the best in the world for that. Muzzy and Chalky are great.
And yourself.
I'm not bad either.
Well, I mean, they kind of made jokes that, like, oh, Chalky's pointing out the plays. I'm here to make sure that we don't get flamed by Twitch chat, and Zlay's here just clicking stuff. But I think, your rapport has been very good so far. And, I just want to point that out. No question. Just taking a comment. You're also
happy.
very
We're
handsome.
winning.
You're also getting really buff, too. Like, what are you repping in the gym these days?
Oh, less and less. I've been getting fat and lazy. It's not good.
Well, you're looking really buff on. It looks like you're flexing extra hard when you're like, I'm going to do that. Wait.
Yeah.
Flex one more second. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Bunny Hopper, LUL had quite a better score than you guys yesterday in their match that they won. Does that make you nervous that you didn't really get to see any of their other strategies?
Well, we have 1 day to resubmit decks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, new day, new strategies.
Yeah, that's an opportunity to submit 18 corridor creepers.
Yeah, and that card definitely had a splash. It has like a 75% win rate or something in the decks as a mulligan card. So pretty big. We'll see if we can see that today, though. But for now, it's time to get into the first match. So to bring you guys picks and bans, let's go ahead and throw it over to me and Frodan.
Thank you very much, TJ. We're going into the picks and bans phase here of Trinity. And for people who aren't familiar with how Trinity works, let's go ahead and explain how this best of 11 is going to go down to each.
That's right. Yeah, the players were asked to submit 9 decks, 1 for each of the classes. They're going to be playing through a best of 11. And this is the pick and ban phase. We're going to start things off with 2 bans. After that, we're going to go through with the 7 remaining decks, and each team will exclude 1 deck from play, meaning they'll be left with 6 remaining to play in that best of 11. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the first ban from each of these teams.
That's right. At the beginning, we asked each team to ban 2 classes, and Priest has been candidate number 1. Now, there's been differences in the second class ban. What is it going to be? Team LUL has actually targeted Warlock as a big ban target, and it seems like they're going to repeat the strategy. I like this because you don't have to mess with the successful formula. Yesterday, they won so dominantly, they had withheld a lot of the cards in their hand, pun intended, for day number 2.
Yeah. And the thing that I'm most excited about is with the same ban strategies coming out for both of these teams effectively.
Right.
What are their deck strategies going to be like? Are they going with the same things? Or are they going to try and switch things up, but with the same ban strategy? There's a lot of mind games going on, and both of these teams, I think, pride themselves in preparation. Maybe Team Love You Lots a little bit more. I don't think what Zalay said in his opening interview was entirely accurate to what they did.
I don't think it was accurate at all.
I'm pretty sure he was just saying a bunch of nonsense. Really just trying to throw everybody off their scent, but I can imagine they're going to come in with something that nobody expects.
Is Zalay in a seat? No, it just seems like we're trying to get every shot of people not in their chairs and walking over to it. Zalay's like, I want to be like the cat.
Yeah, I mean, without Admirable here, we're in shambles.
Yes, that's right.
Everybody's having to pick up the slack. It's Admirable did a lot here at the Trinity Series.
Yeah, he lost his voice last night, so you know, as much as we're joking about him, we actually do miss him. So rest well, Nathan. Zalay's going to be piloting the Paladin and the Rogue, Chalky on the Warlock and Warrior, and Muzzies on the Hunter and the Mage. This is what I want to see, by the way, the fact that both these teams have differences in strategy so that we have a variation of the classes. It felt like for a while in Trinity Series we were playing with 6 classes in Hearthstone, and now we get to see 2 class differences, which is what this pick and ban phase allows the flexibility to show a variety of strats.
Yeah, and we're starting to see some front runners as far as archetypes go for these classes, and it's on ladder and in the Trinity Series. And yesterday there was a couple cards that had quite a big effect. Sonya's Shadow Dancer in the Rogue deck was quite a big one. Not only did it allow Love You Lots to get extra value from some of their early game cards, but also in later situations allowed them to get things like Bone Mare back in their hand to just get additional value. So I think one of the big cards and standouts, and also you know, as we may see later on, the Corridor Creeper I think is a big one. But Sonya Shadow Dancer, new legendary, pretty good.
Yep, Sonya Shadow Dancer was a day 1 golden grab for me, and I felt like I wouldn't regret it at all. And I'm glad that this justified that 3,200 dust, because very soon afterwards I found out that I needed to craft another legendary, so I opened more packs.
Free to play, by the way.
Yeah, free to play. By the way. Virtus.pro is going to have Naaman on the Paladin and Druid, Casey on that Rogue and Warrior, and Bunny Hopper on the Mage and the Shaman. Druid and Shaman being the class differences here compared to Warlock and Hunter. Is that going to pay off dividends for Team LUL? Because Virtus.pro, they're going with a formula that is tried and true. You know, I guess the big difference in philosophy compared to other teams is that they don't believe in Hunter. They think Hunter is bad.
Yeah.
In fact, this morning they were looking at a lot of the stats and said, should we have brought Recruit Hunter?
Yeah.
They were like talking about it, and they're looking at the deck list, which had a couple of cards that I didn't agree with, and I was like, let me stand here. I'm the resident memer here who's played every bad deck, and I'll tell you how Recruit Hunter works. And I told him the package of the new Ooze with Katrina and with King Crush and Charged Devil Swords.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, that actually might be a real deck. And I'm like, it's too bad we didn't practice that.
Even the one that you had cards that you didn't agree with still had a really good win rate.
Yeah.
At least with the limited ladder statistics that we were looking at.
Right.
But I think that what it spells is it's got potential.
Yeah.
It may not necessarily be, you know, the end-all conclusion to this is the Hunter deck, this is the one we're going to be playing for the rest of expansion.
Right.
But it definitely shows that the archetype has potential. Don't know if we're going to be seeing it today, especially not here since we do have a Hunter exclusion from one of the teams, as you mentioned. But could be a possibility in the future. Maybe a day 3 deck.
Speaking of potential, I think Shaman's a class that has a lot of room for exploration. I think in the very beginning of a lot of metagames, it's very dominant for one-sided of archetypes. Like either control is like really powerful because it got so many good tools, but most likely aggro is going to be the thing that people can gravitate towards. So you're looking at Secret Mage, you're looking at the aggro paladins on ladder. You know, there's aggressive forms of Zoo Warlock, and there's also, you know, basically Tempo Rogue can be considered an aggro deck. However, Shaman does have a lot of tools, but it's very weird, right? There's like hybrid mid-range Shaman tools. There's like elemental battlecry stuff.
Yeah.
There's token packages. And so I'm not sure if Shaman's a very good pick just because of how long it takes to normally find a good list.
Yeah, Shaman, even in the past, traditionally has always taken players longer to figure out. Even in the last set, the Doppelgangster Evolved Shaman took quite a while before players actually realized that it was a good deck. So definitely something that we may be seeing in the next coming weeks, maybe not in the next coming days.
Do you think the only Shaman archetype that was kind of easy to figure out was the aggro Shaman?
Yeah.
Pirates came out.
Yeah.
He shoots gadgets in. We're finally into game number 1, Mage versus the Rogue, and Rogue has been a huge proponent for a lot of the wins yesterday. And Virtus.pro, you heard Casey talk about their thoughts on the Miracle Rogue. They think Miracle Rogue is back in full force, and especially for Casey, he is a Rogue lover. Has thousands and thousands of wins with it. Lovey Lots has that big opening hand, though. Oh my gosh, they have Mana Worm, Arcanologist, and Secret Tempo plays.
That is the Stone Cold Nuts, Froden.
Yeah, that's actually, it doesn't get any better than that for turns 1, 2, 3. Turn 4, though, Cabal Lackey would need another secret and extra change, so it's not exactly the best draw in that case.
But they do have multiple turns to pick that up, and because their next 2 turns are pretty slated. And Virtus.pro going to start off with Hallucination on 1.
Yeah, I mean, they have a free floating mana, and with a Mana Worm, I think they can at least assume that they need an anti-aggro card in some capacity, because mana, even if your opponent's playing a burn-oriented mage, this has historically been a bad matchup.
Yeah.
Rogue can't really deal with Ice Block, so they need to deal with any damage dealers early on.
All right, well, good early curve in Leroy Jenkins drawn for Lovey Lots. Let's go ahead and listen in and see what they're formulating for their early plan.
Probably should have talked about that. Play a little more as a complicated turn. Like, there are a lot of options. We could have skipped the Man Worm attack.
So, what's interesting is they don't actually know what we are.
The deck. Yeah.
They're going to find out pretty quick, right? Next turn.
So punch, so definitely, like...
So we're going to go...
Looks like Fan of Knives.
Well, that's really good.
Play that one first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
positioning?
Think about their minions.
So positioning, they got a mage card. So there's Cone, there's Meteor. Those are it, right?
They don't matter.
Okay.
They don't matter, yeah.
So I want Mana Worm in the middle.
Man Worm should be in the middle.
What minions are they playing soon? Is there any reason
They're
to
Miracle.
not explosive?
They're
burns?
Miracle.
I know.
Well, they might want a Blood Mage prep thing. And Blood Mage hits them for 5. We just want to hit them.
Right.
They're dying. Look at the card in our hand.
Well, it's just like, can you ever like try to save the explosive runes for a gadget turn or something?
Oh, I don't think...
Not really.
No,
You
you just
think-
kill them.
You're thinking about turn 6.
So this did 5. I like dealing 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I play Blood Mage backstep, right?
Yeah, Blood Mage backstep, yeah.
Like that was the best possible draw I can have.
Yeah, but that's the same as yesterday. Right? I mean, that's how it works. They still have a secret, though. They played a new secret.
So it's counterspell, right? They did not want it to play in.
Makes much sense.
Yeah, okay. I got it first.
I found it first, I think.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. So they're testing for CS, right?
Yep.
They're thinking we'd play.
Debated.
They're thinking we'd play any secret here just for the tempo, which is
Yeah.
true.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They got us.
Sure would.
I play Arcane Intellect over because it draws different cards and I want to
Okay, yeah. Yeah, but you do the... No, wait. You do the Viscerate first. Might be the
Yes.
Spellbender. Okay, so it's Mirror Entity. Might be an Ice Block.
Yes, coin, that is good.
Fascination might be good.
Yeah. Like our giants are already cheap. We can play them next to.
Yeah.
But we took too much damage.
Explosive Runes is real good.
Yeah, Explosive Runes is the big heavy lifter for why Secret Mage has dominated the early stages of this expansion. Primarily because of how it kind of does everything that you want, which is kill your opponent's stuff and establish tempo, and also put damage to the face. And it can, and what makes it so powerful is the fact that there's actual card draw to back it up too. You look at Arcane Intellect as, of course, being a main source of card draw, but Alaneth, last night we saw do some really big heavy lifting.
Yeah, it's I really like the pretty low curve, aggressive Secret Mage with Alaneth to get you that late game or even mid game card draw, because you're essentially drawing a lot of burn in the deck. And I like Levulot's choice to include Leroy Jenkins, because that's just additional burn and picking up greater arcane missiles plus another primordial glyph. I mean, Virtus.pro is already just close to dead. They're at 13 health, and Levulot has 9 burst damage in hand plus potentially more with the greater arcane missiles. So this deck, the new Secret Mage deck, with just a few different inclusions from the new set, I think is a deck that's here to stay.
At least for the early stages of the expansion. Even if Mage finds a better oh wow.
That's brutal.
I mean, this was already looking really bad for Rogue in the very beginning, so even if they did land on that Cabal Lackey, that's just kind of like a little tilt factor at that point. Like, oh, do we even have a chance at that point? Now they have to use the Vaporize to try and minimize the amount of damage they take. But if we can just level for a second, Levulot's has Frostbolt, and they just picked up Medivh's Valet with Arcane Greater Missile. That in itself is just lethal. So they have to kind of sequence to make sure they're playing around like the proper secrets.
I wonder.
Yeah,
But this should be a foregone conclusion, especially because Levulot's has the Ice Block in their deck, and that also even cements their advantage in this position.
Yeah, I really like the Ice Block. The Ice Block was traditionally played in, oddly, in the faster mage decks and the slower mage decks, but not necessarily the sort of mid-tier mage decks. The reason why is because in the faster mage decks, you just want one extra turn to draw into burn. Like that's essentially what it is. It also has the sort of added small bonus of effectively always having a secret available for Medivh's Valet, but that's sort of a small thing. It's mostly just it gives you an extra turn to draw Leroy, gives you an extra turn to draw the Fireball, Primordial Glyph. So I like the inclusion in the very fast end of mage decks, and of course in the very slow control decks. But there's a reason why we didn't see it in sort of the mid-rangey Secret Mages in the last set, because of the fact that the Ice Block didn't serve as big of a purpose when you don't run as much burn in the deck. Mirror Entity gained, I mean, they can maybe feign Ice Block, but this should just be a pretty easy lethal turn for Levulot's and a quick game 1 victory for them.
Yeah, and this is, I think, and a lot of people might kind of feel like this wasn't a very exciting game, but this was, in my opinion, a victory from Levulot's making a mind game read. A lot of people have been starting Rogue because it's a very versatile deck, and you can capitalize on that by looking at trends from teams and trying to see if you can get a leg up. This was a huge victory. Rogue was a big MVP for a lot of teams yesterday.
Yeah, and Levulot's, you can sort of keep track of their total game score thus far in the Trinity Series Finals. 7-1 now after their pretty intense victory yesterday. So, you know, I kind of feel like this is sort of how this team similarly started off in the Season 1 Finals. They were under the Luminosity banner, and they didn't have Muzzy. They had Frozen instead, but they were dominating all the way up until they got to the final day where they fell a little bit short. Yeah. So I think that they maybe learned from their experience last time, and I think one of this team's strength is having like that network of support behind them with players like Ike that they talked about in Amnesiac, and their preparation. These guys are some of the first to find the new decks in almost all sets.
Right, you tag these 3 guys from Team LUL along with some of the guys that helped them build decks like Amnesiac, Ike, Yode's Flow, Nostam, and you add Saiyan into the mix sometimes. He also helps them out. And it's like, that's probably North America's think tank. Then you have Europe, who has a lot of their own independent thinkers. You have like Naaman, Casey, and Bunny Hopper. They're definitely a lot of players that end up defying a lot of the meta. You know, Bunny Hopper's a guy that loves playing like control paladin in a meta where no one plays, everyone's playing Murloc paladin. And then you have Casey, that guy who loves rogue to death and will always play versions of rogue, as well as N'Zoth builds. And then Naaman is a guy who's also willing to take a bunch of weird risks at odd times that you don't expect him to. One of those games that stuck out to me is when he was playing Astral Communion in Druid and won a game in a tournament from it. It was so cool. And that's where I really hope that they can shine. You were telling me that you heard them discuss some very interesting strategies, but in the end, yesterday took a conservative route. Do you think today they'll take a more liberal approach?
Well, I like the way you put it, but it's whether or not their individual minds can come together and make one conclusion on deck conclusions, whereas Chalky, Zalay, and Muzzy are used to that think tank style, where they all come together and they share lists back and forth. Whereas I think these three players that you're looking at on your screen from Virtus.pro don't necessarily do that. They think individually, and coming together as a team may be tougher. But again, they had not a full day. They had like overnight to refine their decks and react to what happened on day one. But both of these teams won. So do you really need to change that much?
Right. It's like one of those things where you might be messing with success, and that could be a point of downfall for either of the teams. They feel overconfident in their lineups, but I mean, things are looking good so far for LuL's. Ooh, I like this. Mana Worm and the Frost Nova. So this kind of shows that they aren't exactly building the traditional Secret Mage lists. We see Frost Nova is more of a defensive card, but if you put it into a tempo-oriented deck, you have some opportunities to go for some Hail Mary plays in the last stages of the game.
But let's go ahead and listen in now to Virtus.pro. They're discussing their mulligans. Let's see how they want to handle it.
So you keep 2 because of the other cards we get are not that much better unless we get a 1-drop.
Yeah. Okay, so you like keeping... No, okay.
Yep.
One card. Okay.
Yeah, that card's a lot better. That's the cut card.
Yep. We just do it, right?
I do with the Welfin.
Double one?
No, it's not double one. I think it's Welfin. If they Frostbolt, I'm gonna coin out the weapon the next turn.
So you just... Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
Then we coin weapon into 1-2. Okay. Yeah, and then secret into... Good.
I like just playing the Valfin.
Yeah, same.
Because if we play the double 1-drop, if they Frostbolt, we just don't get anything on the board anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
It was not a third. Yeah. Ah, jeez.
All right, so I'm thinking. Ping, go face. They kept
No.
Wait.
So bump because they coin war leader.
Yeah, but think about this. They kept 3, so if we bump, then Rock Pool is just way more insane. Right?
That's true.
So
I also like face damage, given that's how we're gonna win this game. But obviously that doesn't matter yet. But
yeah, I guess we could bump. The bump puts it to 1. They rock pool.
you rock pool and you
value
can ping
trade.
it,
You can
but
ping
I
again
don't like
later.
pinging it. I like what you said, where we play around the rock pool in the first place.
Yeah.
I want to ping and go face.
Me too.
Dude.
It's fine. We just coin the weapon, right?
Yeah, coining the weapon is okay. Seems okay.
Yeah.
Should think about this for a bit though. I think they're putting us on having a rock pool, right? Because we kept 2 cards, 3 cards. Like otherwise cards we didn't play. So we have to kind of think about how we're not playing a rock. It's coin weapon.
Yeah, coin weapon is... Yeah. We can take our time.
Love the reads going on between these two teams, as Virtus.pro has identified the read that LuL's is making, and by hesitating, they're playing into what LuL's might assume. Now, all those small little reads might not make the biggest difference right now, considering that Lovey Lots is taking such a slow approach. It would make a big difference if it was about board jockeying in the early game, but I think Lovey Lots has accepted that they will be behind from this point forward. However, they did pick up Medivh's Valet, and that's a pretty big swing with the Cabal Lackey.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Explosive Runes too can provide you that little bit of extra tempo. You know, say they fill a board full of Murlocs, it protects you against the War Leader, which could blow you out of the game. So definitely still not out of the woods yet, but you could tell that Chalky's sort of sigh when he saw the Vilephan Inquisitor going to the board on turn 1 and realizing that that wasn't even one of the kept cards. So they had a good curve to begin with and then drew a card that also helped that curve. So also Lovey Lots identifying that their way to win this game is not really going to be to control the board at a certain stage. And this mage deck sort of brings me back to the kind of original aggressive mage decks, where you run all burn and then freezes. And basically you just put minions on the board, hit your opponent in the face, freeze their minions so your minions can attack face more, and then finish the game with burn. So this is sort of just a nod to the early day of aggressive mage.
Yeah, although, I mean, Lovey Lots has a couple of those very interesting tools like the Frost Nova and the Ice Block. It makes me even wonder if they have like Pyroblast in the deck. It sounds silly. It really sounds like it doesn't make sense because those are like control burn mage type scenarios where you play like Freeze and Doomsayers. But we did see a variant of that. The runner-up finalist in 2014. Do you remember who that was, TJ?
2014 World Championship?
Who Firebat beat.
Tiddler Celestial.
It was Tiddler Celestial from China. He popularized a aggro mage that was built around that. They played double Ice Block. You'd play Coalite Oracles, Novice Engineers, Loot Hoarders, every single draw in the book, Blood Mage Thanos, and then try to look for like Fireball setups with Ice Block, and then Pyroblast for the win.
And the core behind this deck feels a lot similar to that, but just a lot more tools at your disposal now that where this mini sets in. But yeah, I like the style of deck, but I just don't know how it's going to fare against a deck that goes wide on the board like this. And the Explosive Runes interaction works kind of weird with Divine Shields.
Right.
If it breaks a Divine Shield, it counts as dealing 1 damage to it. So the 5 damage goes to face.
No, it counts the health of the minion. So one time I played a Lone Champion. A Lone Champion is a new card from Kobolds and Catacombs, gains ton Divine Shield. It gained a Divine Shield. Explosive Runes hit it, and it did 2 to my face.
So, for instance, if you were to play a Tyrion into Explosive Runes, it would deal 0 damage to the face. It would just get rid of the Divine Shield. That's weird.
You play Wicker Flame Burn Bristle. It hits it for it
breaks the Divine Shield, hits
you for 4.
Okay, I actually didn't know that. All my Explosive Runes in the 3 games that I played with Secret Mage, as I was trying to scramble to play as many decks as I possibly could, I guess we're all against 1 attack with Righteous Protectors. So
or Argent Squires.
Or Argent Squires, yeah, but I think it was all Righteous Protectors. There's a lot of Paladins currently. Aggressive Paladin is a deck that's becoming quite popular on ladder.
Lovey Lots in a really tough position. If they ping and they set off that secret, it could just make them fall even further behind on board. And based off their hand, Leroy is a burn card, but it needs to go face. And Redemption's just going to get in the way of that exactly. So a really annoying position. However, they have both Ice Blocks. And Ice Blocks is a very powerful card if they're even given the time to do it. So let's go ahead and listen in and see how Virtus.pro is going to take down Lovey Lots before that can happen.
We have the 6-drop anyways.
We can think about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's Realm Blade and Hero Power, and we just play Chum. I like playing Chum. Just
I
more
like
fresh
playing
on the board.
Secret for sure.
Yeah, Secret.
Yeah, so we also play Chum if you want to play Secret, right?
Yeah, the question is, do we need to play the Realm Blade? But I think, for tempo.
Yeah.
I think we want to, yes.
Yep.
So I agree there.
I think if they play an Ice Block, there's just some point where they're going to just try to burn us out of the game.
Yep, so we need to hit them hard, just push it.
I get lucky somehow. So no Murlocs. So that card in hand. It's not a Murloc. There's
another
not a Murloc.
secret.
They didn't swing.
Yeah. So I'm thinking ping V 2-1 Murloc.
2-1 Murloc makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And put up a secret and say kill.
We can play the worm, honestly.
Why? I don't. You think they'll hit
the
it?
blade. Yeah.
That's kind of cheeky. I don't mind that, I guess, but it does do a lot of damage later with the bolt, with the Nova. I mean, obviously we don't have the Illunith, so it's kind of hard to envision all this stuff. So maybe we need the cheeky 2 damage. Yeah, I kind of like it. Their thing's most likely Redemption again, right?
We can ping before we decide the mana worm.
Yeah, so ping 2-1.
Time runs out on me.
Okay.
I'm gonna go.
Repentance, Noble Sack.
I'm just gonna play block.
Okay. Noble Sack makes saving the mana worm make more sense.
Yeah, that's.
Could be I, but why would they play that? Repent makes the most sense, I think. Because why would you play Noble Sack when we have no minions on the board? Maybe just for mana, but why when we might play Counterspell, right? It's not. It doesn't make much sense. This is their 6 that they had. Yep. The Steed.
Heed the call of Cthulhu.
So it draws them a 10 if they run one, but no deck doesn't.
Mana.
Okay. So this is the Nova turn, right? That's upsetting. So they'll have their weapon swing, which kind of sucks. You want to worm first because of Repentance, which makes a lot of sense for them to have played.
What to
Yeah.
do?
We could also not worm at all. Does Nova
No.
make sense?
They either have a Repent or
A Noble Sack.
a
or
Noble
an Eye
Sack.
for an
We
Eye.
need another thing, yeah.
It's never Eye for an Eye. They
It's
wouldn't play it.
usually not Eye for an Eye. I want to play the worm, I think.
One thing we could do is.
No, we just do. Yeah, we just do the thing.
Guy,
I mean,
worm.
you just do it. It's
Nova.
so it's Noble Sack
Noble Sack, yeah.
This guy.
or Eye, technically. Noble Sack / Eye.
Runs
We
out
think
on
it's
me.
Noble Sack.
I'm late. I'm late.
Lovely Lash trying to narrow down what that secret was, and Virtus.pro sets up such a big board to the point where I don't know, it doesn't really matter what secret, or if it's Eye for an Eye or Noble Sacrifice. It's whether or not Lovely Lots can generate enough time to get this damage. They have 9 through Leroy and Frostbolt, and they have 10 through an Ice Block additional ping, but that's still really far from the 21 that they're at.
But, I mean, they do have time. They have this Ice Block active, and they also have Ice Block. So,
Oh, there's like a really funny interaction, by the way, with the full board. Noble Sacrifice won't come out.
yeah.
Don't think that's going to apply, because if the 5-1 attacks with a 1-1, then you still have an extra secret.
And they pick up Medivh Valet, which is a little bit of extra burn.
Sure.
They have 12 right now. They're going to be able to...
Oh, yeah, you're right. Because they get Noble Sacrifice out, they can Leroy this turn.
Yeah, and this is going to be 6 damage in, and they only summon...
Wow, that's so clever. I didn't think about that. The fact that they can use Leroy to summon the Whelp immediately.
I think they might have won the game. Unless Eye for an Eye comes out.
Wait, yeah. That completely changes that, because I thought they were going to have to block a significant amount of damage.
Yeah, this they may have found a way out. I like the Leroy inclusion. It just burned.
That's
and the Frost Nova
brilliant.
was genius because it saved them a turn. I like this deck. This is...
I mean, Virtus.pro got to play the Corridor Creeper, but that didn't do anything this game.
Yeah.
And, yeah, where's that Eye for an Eye when you need it?
Yeah, it's not there. So next turn, Lovely Lots will be able to Frostbolt, Medivh Valet, ping the face, set them to 1, and then set Ice Block. And they have the mana to do that. That costs 9 mana total to be able to do all those things. They could even save one of the pieces of burn for later on. So Virtus.pro is going to have something in their deck that helps them defend against burn damage. And I honestly don't know what it is outside of Ragnaros Lightlord?
Yeah, they could have another random summon, right? If Ragnaros Lightlord gets, like, if they had a Dino Size in their deck, if they're basically copying the same deck list from Lovely Lot, they have an out potentially. That's not something they don't die right here, right now.
Yeah, and they are trading off their damaged minions and probably not going to hero power or play.
Ooh, yeah, that's a little bit risky.
So if they have second Spiteful Summoner and Dino Size, that would be their out, and they wouldn't have hero powered. So hero powering means that I don't think they have either second Spiteful Summoner or Dino Size in the deck, or they just don't think Lovely Lots has the burn. But you have to expect they have the burn. But let's go ahead and listen in onto Lovely Lots here to see if they're going to spot this lethal over 2 turns or what they're thinking about.
Valet.
We have no Arcanologist a secret for the valets.
We can do that, yeah. So we could play nothing on board, Frostbolt face, so they can't like True Silver. That's actually really good, right?
Face, can they Uther? They still
They can Uther, yeah, but who runs that? Like,
so you want to do the...
There's Rag Light Lord, but who runs that?
So you want a Bolt Face to play around True Silver? Because
I want a Bolt Face, block,
do we have
pink
the,
face.
Do we have the final secret in our deck?
We do.
Okay.
There's nothing that plays around that.
So...
2,
block, bolt, ping.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yep.
We have mana for everything next
Yes,
turn?
we do.
Arcanologist, secret valet,
We
ping?
do.
Yeah, okay.
End turn.
Yeah.
No. Would have killed us.
Oh yeah, right. What did I say? We play Megastore in case they discover Flame Strike.
I don't see any reason not to play it.
Any charge minion.
Oh, any charge for?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So you just pass.
Yep. Like they need to draw lethal now, right?
Do it, Dad.
We beat Unraveler, see? Wait, no, we did beat Unraveler because we have the Kieran Tor.
Explosive.
Yeah. Shoot him.
Excuse me.
Shoot him again.
Interactions, chat. Dead secret.
Nice. Noble. Satisfying. Like this.
That feels... That's deck building right there.
Love You Lots takes another game and now improves their record in the finals to 8-1 off of a brilliant interaction spot through the Noble Sacrifice, being able to maximize their damage. And hey, they were able to even play around other cards because of their interactions that they spotted. Like they were saying, what if they even had weird cards like Uther of the Ebon Blade, or do we allow them to even attack with their weapon with Lifesteal?
Yeah, that was an impressive win, not only from a deck building standpoint, but as you mentioned, full board, no Noble Sacrifice being able to spawn, getting additional damage to the face, and then exact lethal after the last Ice Block was popped. Like they said it at the end, I think it was Delay. That's satisfying. That win is satisfying right there.
Extremely satisfying.
Yeah.
Playing to your outs, playing to the corner case scenarios because you had the luxury of doing so. And we were kind of mentioning it, the Noble Sacrifice was definitely a little bit of an unusual pick because it was very clear that Virtus.pro was going to win the board. And at first I was like, well, there's a full board. How does this actually work to capitalize on it? And then you remember Leroy Jenkins fills the board. And this is not something that's very commonly seen at all. And also just even having Leroy in the deck is also unusual. So Virtus.pro was probably not even accounting for that whatsoever.
Yeah, they were able to set up the 4-turn OTK, Dan.
4-turn OTK. That's kind of like Temperus level of thinking.
Yeah, that's right.
You know the Enlightened meme where it just kind of starts off with like a small human brain where it's just like setting up top decking fireballs, a small brain. And then, Ice Block, Pyroblast setups is like the bigger brain, and then the enlightened moments where like Leroy Jenkins to play around Noble Sacrifice to set up the Arcanologist Valet Lethal.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate enlightenment.
That's right. And now with a favored matchup out of the way for, well, an unfavored for Lovely Lots, but favored for Virtus.pro.
Right.
Lovely Lots has to be feeling real good. And they still have not shown anything other than Mage, Rogue, and Paladin in their arsenal. And I think the rest of the decks, whether it be the Warrior, the Hunter, and what's the last one? Well, Warrior and Hunter mostly are the ones that you can't really pinpoint too much what it is, because there's like 3 different archetypes of Hunter that it could possibly be. Warlock, Warlock. It could be Zoo or Control, so that's a big one too. And
it's a really big difference.
They haven't shown any of the cards from those decks, so
Right.
They didn't even have to switch those decks up. So they're gaining these small advantages over the course of the tournament because of the resubmission.
Given that I think most people can understand that there is like that 50-50 of Warlock, but because Warlock is a really good counter queue deck these days, unless you're starting off with Zoo, which most people will understand that you're going to play Zoo if he's queued up in the first game, I think teams will make an assumption like, oh, you know, if you're playing Warlock into a Shaman deck, it's like, well, it's very clearly it's going to be control Warlock. But the tech decisions, the small individual cards that are being picked out from Love You Lots, like the Corridor Creeper, like double Ice Block. Double Ice Block is also something to consider too, because Virtus.pro, you know, now they have information. 2 Ice Blocks and a Leroy. That's also the range that we have to play with. And that's so unusual because a lot of the Secret Mages, they're topping out at Firelands, Portal, and Archmage Antonitis. They don't really have the Corridor Creepers and the Ice Blocks and the Frost Novas.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know...
sorry, not Medivh.
Medivh.
The other legendary that's annoying to deal with.
It's been a while since a 7-mana card has been kept in the mulligan, but Corridor Creeper, when I was looking at the rogue stats earlier, the only card that had a higher win rate than it when kept in the opening hand was Prince Kaliseth. That was the only card in the mulligans that had a higher win rate than Corridor Creeper.
Is it a 7-mana card, though? Is it really? If you think about it.
When it starts off, yeah.
Jeez.
Whoa! Double Corridor Creeper.
So this is a class that makes a lot of sense for Corridor Creeper. When I first saw that card, I was even thinking, yeah, it could go in like some token decks. I actually even thought it was just an arena card. I was one of those guys like, it's a good arena card, but that's it. I am completely wrong on that. And with Primal Fin token, it makes even more sense because that thing generates infinite 1/1s.
Yeah, I think this deck may even have an even better win rate against Mage than their Murloc Paladin deck. This one, it's just hard to feel like Mage is going to be able to overcome. And, you know, Virtus.pro was talking earlier, and they said Bunny Hopper yesterday went 24-3 to Legend with their Shaman deck. They wouldn't tell me what their Shaman deck was, but he said with their Shaman deck that they were bringing today, he went 24-3 to Legend, which is insane.
Well, what's so funny is that Shaman is a class that can play 0-mana free stuff really easily. They have Corridor Creeper on top of Think From Below, and if you're playing token-based cheap stuff, why not throw in Sea Giant? So just play all the 0-mana free stuff.
But at a certain point...
That's my theory. That's my theory. I'm guessing. I don't know their deck list. It's a closed deck list environment.
Yeah, we'll see. But let's go ahead and listen in now, and maybe we can get a little bit of insight into what's in this deck.
It's good. Flinton.
Anything just dies to the secret right now.
I want to draw another Primal Fin first.
Do you want to cheat mana this turn?
Cheating mana seems good. It makes them afraid of runes.
Gets worse later.
It's a 4/3 that they have to face tank most likely.
We use the secret they know about, the one on the
Yeah,
right.
we play this one.
Wait.
Don't mouse
no,
over,
no. You play the left one. Oh no, wait. Yeah,
No,
you do
play the right one.
Yeah,
What are you guys
okay.
talking about?
My bad.
Okay.
Don't mouse over though.
Tired.
We have many secrets.
Not bad. Twitch chat, don't make fun of me. Please. God, I hope they didn't do a listen in.
You're quiet for me too.
Yeah,
I can hear
I was whispering kinda.
Yeah, what if they didn't hear you?
Yeah, I'm hoping they didn't hear me because I said something stupid, Muzzy. Okay? Don't listen to me.
When you say something stupid, just move on, because they don't even understand that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're probably spamming question marks right now.
I'm gonna attack with the Moloch.
The Murloc?
Yep.
Yeah.
No. You can get the one
From the
buff.
Moloch synergy. Okay, yeah. Kill with 1/1.
They're not gonna run Hungry Grave.
Seems unlikely. I'm just gonna play the Creeper for 0 next.
They have to have it in this deck.
I believe so.
There's no way they don't.
They put it in their other deck. It makes sense in this.
Do you
makes
wanna?
more sense here.
I want to go 2-drop ping.
They don't know what our secret is at all.
Yeah, I want to go 2-drop ping.
So 2-drop ping draws our card, which lets us play it next turn. It's likely the Creeper 0, so we can go Rune, Runner, Creeper. It makes us more likely to draw better cards instead of runes. I like where we're going with that.
Yeah, like
the minion hits a taunt. Like, who cares?
what I'm saying.
Chain Lightning is a big deal.
What I'm saying, this game I can already see it's gonna be another Frost Nova game.
Yeah, of course. It's a burnout game. They're at 24, and we have 2 blocks.
That's why we don't want to tempo these things.
Yes.
Well,
we can tempo them next turn.
Depending on the situation.
Yeah, we'll see, but like, it's still gonna be good.
Probably tempoing it.
We're
like, once we
probably
draw Nova.
tempoing.
I don't know if we are.
We'll figure it out.
Probably are.
Well, we don't have to figure it out yet. Let's think
We
about
might
that.
hold the creeper
What
because
are
it's
they thinking
literally
this
0.
turn?
Yeah, that's what
The
I'm
other
saying.
one isn't quite 0.
What are you saying?
Let's focus on what they're thinking about
They
right
don't
now.
know our secret at all. They didn't try to play around it. So it's they've
They haven't seen
they've seen
counterspell from
block,
us
they've
yet.
seen runes. They're thinking it could still be counterspell.
They've seen 2 blocks. So if we do play counterspell, it's like a 1-of.
Yeah.
The more I look at this deck, the more I like it.
The Shaman deck?
No, the Mage deck. Corridor Creeper has such good synergy with Frost Nova too.
Corridor Creeper has synergy with Hearthstone.
It really does.
It just turns out that most decks require minions to do stuff. So even if you're a control deck,
you're still gonna play minions at some point.
You can, well, I mean, you don't have to necessarily, but you can also swing the board with big wipes, like a Brawl, Flame Strike type scenario, and then you can just play a Corridor Creeper. Does it play to your win condition? Probably not, but I'm just saying that if you're a budget player and you happen to open up a Creeper and initially you're disappointed, I have good news. It's actually pretty good based off our what we're seeing right here.
And you were talking about Sea Giant and the Shaman, but this Mage deck sort of works similarly.
Yeah.
With Cabal Crystal Runner.
Yeah,
Because
zero mana stuff is the new vogue. Right?
It is. Zero mana, 5/5s, 8/8s, whatever.
5/5s, yeah.
Just play whatever, as long as it costs 0 mana.
Arcane Tyrant's also a card that you might see often in Druid, for example.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. A lot of tempo tools.
Yeah.
In the game, in its current state, but this one's going to be a lot tougher for Lovely Lots to overcome because Virtus.pro has a ton of pressure and Bloodlust in hand.
Straight up, all-out tempo. Gonna put the secrets on hold for now. Plus, they have ways to cheat it out later if they can able to play Aluneth next turn. The secret is Ice Block. How much damage is with Bloodlust right now? We have 6 on the board plus the 18, so that's 24. 21, excuse me. It's only 5 minions on the board, so it's 15, not 18. So they're bloodlusting to try to see if they can go for the trades instead. And that allows them to play a free Corridor Creeper.
Yeah, not bad. And we do have
too slow though, because they're giving so much life to the mage. Oh, it's because they don't know the Aluneth's coming. So they think that they're going to drain the mage out of resources.
And we do have a Twitch poll up. For those of you who may be new, every once in a while we'll throw up a Twitch poll. Vote by typing in exactly as you see on the screen. So which class is favored? Do you think Seeker Mage or Evolved Shaman?
Right. You have to type it exactly as Secret Mage with a space in between Evolved Shaman with a space because the chat bot will pick it up. So while we look at that and poll you guys, why don't we listen to the teams and see what they think?
I like monetize thing for below.
Yeah, monetizing.
Put monetize to the right of the worm. For below, I think to the right, yeah, to the far right.
Like this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Job's done.
I think the rune down earlier might have been like,
Yeah.
whatever. Okay.
Hey, those worms are looking mighty appetizing and shooting a bolt maybe at like the face or the 2. I don't want to shoot at the
Not
2/3.
the 2/3.
Then they
Could
could
be
play
the 5/5
things.
as an option.
Then they could play things, right? So if we shoot the face, guaranteed damage. Our worms are growing. They have to lightning it or devolve. We haven't seen a devolve. We draw a bunch. We're gonna fireball a 5/5 valet a 2/3 or something. I think we can shoot the face.
Right. What's the argument for shooting the 5/5? It's like if we're gonna valet it.
But we're gonna valet the 2/3.
Yeah.
I guess the man arm can go in, but I prefer shooting face, Muzzy.
The downside to shooting the thing from below is devolve. The upside to shooting the thing from below is it just kind of tries to preserve.
I want to shoot face because bone mirror.
I'm
I
good
want
at
to.
shooting
Well,
face.
we're never shooting the 2/3. We agreed on that.
What is bone mirror? He's Frost Nova. He can't play.
Yeah, he can't play anything.
Oh, it's 2/3 versus 5/5.
I would shoot his face with the.
You're never shooting the 2/3. It's 5/5 or
shoot the
face.
My bad.
It's
I
okay.
didn't mean to say that.
It's
I meant
okay.
to
We're
say-
doing well. Just need to talk through things.
That's one bullet used.
Frost Nova.
Like, okay, yeah, just like.
How many?
Hunting this turn. That's not great. Well,
So we can go this girl, this, do that,
No.
trade.
I think the fireball goes upstairs. Oh, you want to? Oh,
well, if we clear on board, it's setting up for the Leroy, and it's setting up so we maybe not get popped.
Right.
It's
setting
unlikely.
us-
It's unlikely we get popped because we have stuff
Yeah, it
on
actually
board.
makes
Yeah,
sense
it
to
sets
kill
up
stuff.
another
Hold
Nova
on. Do we
better,
Leroy
too.
over fireball? Wait, we do, right?
Yeah.
Right now it gets. Yeah, for sure.
So Leroy.
Leroy first. Yeah. And then
This.
Guarantor and
We
runes.
have many secrets.
And we're double trading.
Time runs out on me.
This is smart.
Yeah. It's unlikely we get popped. We set up another secret for them to be afraid of.
We have another Nova.
Yeah, we only have one secret left for the valet. Like, it's gonna be active all the time, but so valet.
You really just portal?
Yeah,
Why don't we
like-
trade this and
No,
evolve?
I don't like. Oh wait.
You want to get the DK?
I want
Wanna-
to play the worm not to get damage into the
Yes.
face. I want to play Doppelganger evolve.
Can you do that? You
Yeah,
can't
but-
get the Worm double gangster evolved. That's too expensive.
Yeah, it's way too expensive. Yeah. Do we want to get damage from the if we play the Doppelganger?
You get just Maelstrom, right?
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Okay, do it.
We double trade this.
I think I played the worm. Yeah, don't want to get damaged. Yes. Yeah.
Now we also play the pirate. Because we want our hero, yeah.
I don't want to evolve this turn.
No. I want the mana tide on the board.
So their board's gonna be full again.
Yeah.
We have 2 glyphs left still.
We also have a Nova in the deck, but
Yeah.
if we draw, and we don't hit the Nova, we do risk the thing. Is there any way we kill them? I mean, drawing for the Nova is appetizing, right? But if we draw for the Nova, and
We
whiff,
could.
then we have to win next turn. We have
What
to.
to do? What to do?
What do you think?
I don't
We can
wanna
put him to 10. We'll just. Do we have another block? We can draw the other fireball. Do we have
So we
another
have
source of 3?
guaranteed.
Do we have
We-
another source of 3?
Yeah, Frost Nova plus
We
minion.
have 9,
Frost Nova 5/5s.
9,
Does damage.
12. We have 12 plus glyphs in deck.
Okay.
I think we just shoot face.
We
this
can
turn.
beat them through Thrall, right?
I'm gonna fireball, bolt, ping face.
Make sure. Are we playing runes? It makes sense, right? Or do you
Yeah,
not
we
want
can play it with the lackey.
Okay.
So fireball,
Yeah.
Time runs out on me.
LA.
this, lackey,
Aki. Thing.
this. No reason to play the
No reason to
5/5s.
play minions.
Those are better
Makes
with
sense.
Nova,
Makes
right?
sense. Yeah.
It's better with the Nova.
So the issue with that thought is we need to win this next turn. We should have played 5/5s because they put us to 1 and we fatigue, right? Or no, we don't fatigue.
Oh.
Yeah. Never mind. I'm dumb. We played it so we exact.
This mage deck is wreaking havoc because once again, they've set up a scenario where they have a 2-turn lethal if they're able to pick up extra damage. They picked up the second valet if they're able to find perhaps a little bit more damage off the Primordial Glyph. Maybe just straight up Power Blast.
Or just fireball the second natural fireball from their deck, which is a 25% chance already. Or another Primordial Glyph. They also have Arcane Intellect to be able to pick it up. So they could actually, they wouldn't be able to Arcane Intellect, Medusa Valet, Fireball, and Ping. They don't have enough mana for that, but they do have multiple turns. The one thing is that I would have liked to see the 5/5 come down last turn because Virtus.pro would have had to make the decision of clearing off minions or popping the block. They didn't have enough damage to do both.
Right.
And I think that's the one oversight by Love You Lots is not playing those minions because they didn't really think about the attention that those minions would have to receive to not get the damage in.
Right.
And they only got one taunt, so they would have been able to push through with one of these 5/5s. So
Rough face.
but they do find lethal.
There you go. They knew that they had 12 damage in the deck remaining, and Alaneth is insane. You have to start wondering, did Virtus.pro put any weapon removal into their deck? People were theory crafting about the usefulness of legendary weapons.
Yeah.
If there's an Ooze meta, or if there's Harrison Jones in decks. We haven't seen a single form of weapon destruction, and now Team Lots is once again running away with the series.
I just don't know how they're doing it. It's like the 2 games in a row in what on paper, from our understanding in previous metas, with Evolved Shaman and Murloc Paladin, should beat aggressive Secret Mages. It should happen. But the way that Lots has built this deck with, they get the early game damage in, explosive runes chips away, and then they use Frost Novas and a ton of card draw in the late game to stall out, and the Ice Blocks to buy themselves turn to find the additional burn. It's a really cool deck idea, and it's paying off in spades. They're 3-0 up right now.
Very powerful deck, and even more room for optimization of play. Like we talked about, should they have played those 5/5s, given that they would have introduced a complicated scenario to Virtus.pro, whether or not they trade minions or go for the lethal block, and they would have had extra minions to pressure. That's even scarier. It's like, wow, they even had more range that they could have optimized more damage, even if Shaman had better cards.
There's a few scenarios that could punish them. Let's say they get Nerubian Unraveler off the Corridor Creeper from a devolve, and that Nerubian Unraveler can't trade into a taunt that's in the way and kill itself off, and they can't have lethal because of it. It's a very fringe case scenario, but I think the benefits outweigh the negatives. But it's all semantics in the end of the day because they won. And now I feel like Virtus.pro probably is running out of decks that they feel are good against this type of mage deck. I don't know if they expected it. I don't know if they have an answer to it, but one thing's for certain is Lots is winning the deck building game over the past 2 days.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Druid as a class that people may be concerned about. A lot of teams are banning Druid all the time. They set their lineups to ban Druid. But if you play Druid against that Secret Mage, I'm not afraid of it whatsoever, because Secret Mage will overrun the Jade Druid very easily. So once again, Team Lots kind of cornering their opponents and accounting for the fact that even though they're taking in an unconventional ban strategy, it's completely taken away Virtus.pro's any advantage because they built their lineup very solidly.
Yeah, and we'll see if Lots can continue that road. But in the meantime, we're going to have to go to a very short break, but don't go anywhere. Conclusion of this series right after this.
You guys seeing this?
Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Series Season 2 Finals, presented by Intel, ESL, and Twitch. This one's heating up, but in a way that you may not necessarily expect in the winner's match, with Lots ahead in a domination.
Oh, it's heating up, all right. There's a lot of fireballs being thrown around, and Alaneth is wrecking people. Virtus.pro is down 0-3, and they need to stop the mage train if they can. At this point, you have to start wondering, does Virtus.pro even have a counter to the mage remaining? They picked Murloc Paladin and Shaman, Evolved Token Shaman, and the reason why those are traditionally good against Secret Mage is because you can nullify a lot of their other normally powerful secrets. Like Mirror Entity will be really bad against weak Murlocs or weak tokens, or Counterspell can be affected by cheap things that Paladin doesn't need, like Hydrologist secrets, or Shaman doesn't necessarily always need really big evolves. They can just toss it in and negate it and then swing back on the board. And then that mage is traditionally bad against fighting against wide boards. Now, without it, what do you use to fight this mage?
This looks like an Azoth Warrior.
Yes, the Mountfire armor tends to lean that way, and that's something that is a KC special. He loves playing N'Zoth decks and Rogue.
I don't know how N'Zoth Warrior is going to fare against against this mage deck, because they do. The one thing about the Warrior deck is they do sort of lack early removal. Fire War Axe going to 3 mana, Blood Razor at 4 mana. It's early Mana Worm and early minions are going to get in a lot of chip damage.
Yeah.
And I worry for the Warrior deck for that purpose only. And they do have things like the Dry Whisker Armorer.
Right.
But the Mage deck doesn't tend to go that wide on board. They tend to get a few minions out on the board early on, get a bunch of chip damage with those, draw a bunch of cards, and burn you out of the game. So it's probably going to gain like max 6 armor, potentially 8 armor, and that's if it's even in the deck. We'll have to see, though, but I worry for the Warrior in this match.
There's a couple of really good tools in Warrior that came from the new expansion for control lists. Everyone's looking at Reckless Flurry as being maybe the highest power level, but there is a pretty significant downside because losing your armor, especially against aggro decks, can often be just as game-losing as letting them have the board. And then there's the Dry Armor Whisker that you mentioned. There's also the Bladed Gauntlet, which is the new 2-mana epic warrior weapon that is scaling based off armor. But all of them have one thing in common, is that they kind of require some situations for them to have optimal removal and also to not die to the mage. You look at Mountain Fire Armor. Mountain Fire Armor, if it gets played into Explosive Runes, gains 0 armor and they take damage. So this could be a problematic scenario. Let's go ahead and listen in and see if once again Virtus.pro can stop this amazing curve from Lovey Lots.
Just play Acolyte?
Yes.
Let the pain speak to me.
I guess not.
Hmm?
I don't know.
To me, you could think about shooting his face with Frostbolt.
I instantly thought shoot face with Bolt.
So, what's our objective with that?
It delays.
Wait, does it make the Blood Razor significantly worse? If we kill his guy and play another guy, we're also just kind of hurting him very badly. The Mana Worm, he has to face tank. We have 2 2/2s coming in.
Do we ever not kill the guy?
Then you can Frostbolt the Blood Razor,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The question is the Valet body better now or later?
It should be better now.
Before they
It's
can
before
AoE.
Brawl, before Fishes.
The question, my main question is, do we ever shoot face?
No, because it challenges the. It just gets more draws that way.
Okay.
I care about draws still.
All right.
We're gonna play regular Hearthstone still, right?
Excuse me, you are on
Yeah, I think regular Hearthstone. I don't think we're that close to killing him to where we can just go face.
So they're gonna Blood Razor, and then we're gonna Bolt.
Yeah, that's gonna be satisfying.
Yeah. They still have Fishes after that, but they're getting very low already. There's block.
That's no Blood Razor.
It's not Blood
Not a
Razor.
Blood Razor. Shield Slam. Probably better given our hand they had, but.
Okay.
I mean, I would just play that. I mean, there's Brawl, but
But next turn could also be the 3/6, so we want to
yeah,
max minion
we
pressure.
just yes. If they have single target removal like last turn.
School Fishes.
School Fishes. Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna play it.
I want to play it. Yeah.
We have many secrets.
I'm done playing around cards. That's not what I'm about. I'm about.
Yeah, Brawl.
Do we brawl?
Yes.
Think so. Makes their worm super cheap though. The creeper. Best minion. Okay. Today is not the day.
Nope. Maybe next
But
year.
I saw. I mean, we can.
No, I don't think we can.
What?
I don't know. It looks really bad. We already used a shield block. They're ahead on board. By a lot.
Lovey Lots wins an important brawl with the highest damage minion. Gonna search for a better play with their Primordial Glyph first, as they have all burn. They can go fishing again, or they can pick up this Frostbolt for damage. They are starting to piece together a lot of burn. They have 9 through the Fireball Frostbolt, 12 through the second Frostbolt, and 16 through the Curator.
But if they pick up more damage with Primordial Glyph as a reset,
right?
That's a tough one. It looks like they are going to go fishing again and looking for more damage or potentially card draw.
Explosive Runes can stop a big minion from blocking this this Curator. So the big thing about what Lovey Lots is looking for is ways to get more damage than just the Fireball Frostbolt. And keeping a minion on board is key to that. It stops the Direwolf Hatchling, stops any kind of Mountain Fire shenanigans, or even the Ally Armorsmith. They came down, it gets shuts down immediately with the hero power.
Yeah, and this is going to be, if they play this Mountain Fire Armor, an extra 3 damage to face. And it also is on the Warrior's turn, so it's not going to even proc the armor from the Mountain Fire Armor. So this could be a big deal. And if they deal 3 damage to the face, that's 13. Next turn, they have exactly 13 damage, so they
Right.
have to armor up after that. And I don't think they'd play around that, so we could be looking at a next turn lethal unless Virtus.pro changes their game plan.
But what's so difficult is that Virtus.pro doesn't have a read that it is explosive runes because it's a primordial glyph card.
And there's so many secrets in the pool now, but they probably wouldn't have taken it unless it was one that they knew they could tempo out that turn and get good use out of. So maybe mirror entities on their mind, could be even counterspell on their mind.
Yes.
But explosive runes, maybe as a fresh secret in their mind, because it's actually something they played against, could be big. But I like the Acolyte because it allows them to draw a card. And yeah, they're dead. That's game.
Oh my goodness, and you can see the power of being able to stick this Kirin through that brawl is going to be massive, but the big story is whether or not it was just too late from the beginning. Virtus.pro has lost too many games. They had 2 counter decks, and neither of them were able to get the victory. And LUL also had a very good opening hand. This is starting to get way out of control, TJ.
10-1 is now LUL's total record over the 2 days of the Trinity Series Season 2 Finals. 4-0 in this match specifically. Who's gonna stop him?
I want to point out something. I was talking to Zalay and Omnistone about a week before the expansion, and you know, we were kind of talking about different ban strategies based off our first impression of seeing all the cards being released. This is before the expansion dropped. This was just when the cards were revealed. And Zalay was saying, I'm definitely banning Priest, and I think a lot of people agree on that. But he said the second candidate he was thinking about was banning Mage. Now that they actually played a lot, they said, well, we're curtailing our strategy to ban Warlock. But it's something in the back of their mind. Like, Mage is a very powerful deck, and on ladder, its statistics, it's one of the top 3 decks currently, along with, there's a lot of them, like Rogue and Hunter.
Paladin's
also kind of creeping up there.
Creeping up there, I see what you did.
Ooh.
But, you know, that's another deck that Virtus.pro has thrown out there that's been eliminated by Mage. So now it's even past the point of worrying about, well, can we counter this Mage? It's, well, once we beat the Mage, we have very little tools left to defeat everything else from Team LUL. They have Mage and Druid left, and this Mage and this Druid have to defeat all of the decks from LUL in this last hero standing format. So,
and that's not going to really happen. The aggressive Mage is favored against both of these decks that remain. Assuming that they're a control Mage that we saw from Virtus.pro yesterday, and it's Jade Druid. I'm assuming it's the case. Again, it's a closed deck format for anybody tuning in halfway. But that is why Virtus.pro saved those decks, because they were trying to counter things beyond the Mage. And now that Mage has been able to corner Team Virtus.pro, who, a lot of teams are feeling comfortable, like, oh, they let us play Druid. That's so silly. They're now very much afraid that because they have Druid and they don't have a better class to fight against it, that could be their downfall and end of the series. We're looking at a very realistic sweep possibility at this point.
I would agree with that. And, you know, to the folks at home, maybe Eater of Secrets is a tech that should start making its way in, because of the fact that Hunter and Mage are both popular.
I put Eater of Secrets in all my decks because of all the Hunters and Mages. It doesn't win me any games, but I do put it in, and I do play a 3-5 from time to time.
Yeah. Let's go and listen into Virtus.pro. Malagos and Yashraj. I want to hear what their strategy is for this game.
So they kept nothing.
White growth. What do they have? Okay, good. I want Alex back. I'm just making fun.
Yeah, but
in our deck, yeah. I see your point.
We just need to get Nourish.
Or Maya Keeper.
It's just more damage, and you're 60-something to Glyph a Secret.
Okay.
What to
I'm
do?
gonna roll
really
it.
that high.
What to do?
All right, let's roll it.
All right, are we far enough behind that we want to Deck of Wonders?
That is spicy.
Deck of Wonders
We can
next
play that next turn.
I know.
Ice
It's not
Block
that
is
bad.
pretty horrible.
I like it.
I do too.
Disguised Toast, bless us. Let's take it
But let's
right now.
take a minute
To
and think.
do. What
I mean,
I do want the Deck of Wonders.
I want the Deck of Wonders.
Chat is screaming Deck
So
of Wonders
the
right
Ice
now.
Block discounts the Cabal Crystal,
Delay.
but we probably never use it. Like, 'cause we have 2 more.
We're gamers. We
Yeah.
play to win.
I wonder what's
And
in
when
the box.
playing to win and having fun collide, it's a rare occasion.
We take it. I know.
This is their kept.
So they've got follow-up.
Okay.
Well, we
Chat. It's gonna have to
later.
wait. It's gonna have to wait. Chat.
Later. It's fine.
Thinking
Sorry,
4
guys.
3s are good. Killing 3 3s is good.
Sorry.
We have many secrets.
Gonna happen, right?
At some point.
Deck of Wonders should have been a secret.
Would we have played it? Kind of like runes here.
Yeah,
the
runes.
fact that it deals 3 and kills a Mire Keeper.
It's
Pretty good.
Not sure why.
Valet
Yeah, 4.
But then?
So.
Valet ping, but what is Valet ping? What does the 1/1 do then?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do we need to attack into the 4/3?
I mean, it's only if they play like if they want to play like Arcanologist ping or something like that, but they obviously don't have like Arcanologist.
So you like that to attack to?
I mean, you could go Jade's Blossom and then scale that thing.
I don't want to scale that.
I don't
I
think
want to
so.
attack 1/1 into the 4/3.
Why? All it does is it heals us. No, it deals 1 damage to us, right? If we trade it.
No,
Because they play over there
have
and
to
ping,
kill
and
the
so they
2/2.
put ping our face.
They have to kill the 2/2 if we play like that. Like this.
That's true. Yeah, they have to spend something on a 2/2.
Awesome.
So they're
Thought a
trading
lot
for
about
a-
it. Yeah, obviously you trade here a lot.
Okay.
5/5 face.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean pressure against druids where you go.
Oh yeah.
Our thing kills their 3/6 taunt, so if they're Jade.
I'm late. I'm late.
I'm late. I'm late.
I'm loving it, TJ. I see a Deck of Wonders that was picked off of the Primordial Glyph when they had options for another secret instead. And yeah, I kind of agree. Like, if they had such a slow start, they might need to get a little fortunate. And if they're losing the board against Druid, which they thought they might be in the beginning case, Deck of Wonders could be something that bails them out. Plus, I mean, Team Levulots does play for the people. They even kind of mentioned it.
When having fun and playing to win collide, it's a rare occasion. That's how Chucky put it.
But in the very beginning, a lot of people who maybe watched Trinity Series from the beginning of the season to the end and saw that Planet Odd ended up #1 in seeds, and why Levulots, who were the 5th seed, ended up coming is because Planet Odd couldn't make the finals. They declined the invitation for the Gold Championships. So Levulots, when they first saw that they were 5th seed, Chucky posted kind of a sentimental Twitter message, which wasn't very common. He said, we played this season because we really wanted to have fun, and plus we really know that the fans love it.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're even acknowledging it, and they get to have all their interests collide, like they mentioned, fun and gaming.
But
why not?
The one thing to note about Deck of Wonders is it's a random spell. It's not a random mage spell.
Yeah,
so it is very inconsistent. Cataclysm is bad. You discard your whole hand. It's just hard to predict and very inconsistent, and it can ruin your game plan, or it can do crazy, meme-tastic things that potentially can win you the game. It's a crazy card.
Yeah. Now, is it time to play it, or perhaps we can choose a different strategy by just getting past these scarabs? Let's go ahead and tune in to the team once again and hear what they're thinking.
If we fireball, how's it looking?
Well,
damage.
It's tough for them to make 1/2s. Malfurion's bad for us. I don't really want to play around it.
Okay.
So do we want to play the 2/1 is the point, right?
We do, right?
Seems okay. Reasonable cards are reasonable. That's a 2/1 on board.
So sad about this Deck of Wonders.
Say that again? It can literally win us the game, though, right? Especially once we Illumina.
Oh, we just missed a lot of... Okay.
Well, it would have been an ice block, dude. Yeah, it's the best thing we could have.
I'm not sad we picked it. I'm sad we haven't had a chance to play it. That's all.
Swiping.
Wish we had worse turns so we could play it.
Sad.
All right.
I'm happy.
Are you happy?
It's happening.
Yeah.
It's definitely happening.
Just
if
wonder
you're
if
happy
ping,
about
right?
that.
Alright, watch their. Alright, we got a.
It's
we
a
get the-
We got a
golden.
smile, a chuckle.
It's a golden deck.
Oh, we're on
Echo of Wonders. Can we just play that?
No.
No, I want.
This is trash.
I want to play that.
Actually, Lich King Kia might be good. But then I don't want to kill the 4-1.
Why not? You just hero power the 4-1. This is runes, right? One of these is the runes.
Yes.
No, yeah, true.
And I take. I'd rather take 6 damage than the Lich King.
What to do?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warriors of the frozen wastes,
Yes.
Alright, so that guy draws Mortal Coil.
Probably need
6.
we need to kill it.
Oh man.
There's
Hate killing things.
Oh,
Ooh.
there it
scroll.
is.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Well, I'm not happy.
Oh, dang.
So far, there's not much wonder going on.
Okay, so are we gonna kill that?
Let's think. Well, we have no outs immediately by putting them to 10. And giving them another out at stuff, hitting
we
us
have
for
wonder
8.
outs.
Well, I want to hit a Lunith and draw our deck is my out.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So,
So
we
we're
should kill
gonna kill it. Killing Pink Face.
All right.
So we have 4 decks left.
So
4 scrolls. My bad.
It reduces it by 2, but that means
Yeah,
they'll still only be playing 1 minion a turn.
They have 5. They have 5 extra things that they, or 5 reduced things. They don't run that many minions, so it's like unlikely to hit all of them. They've got the scales. We got jebaited. They should have queued this way longer ago.
Yeah.
So now it's truly on Deck of
All
Wonders.
right, Deck of Wonders mind control.
They have Barnes. We want to get info, right? That's the new game plan. Info and Deck of Wonders.
Yeah.
But mostly
So
info.
we just ping face and pass, and
I
then
think we can ping face and pass. We can take 15.
Yeah.
We want the Yasharaj to keep pulling. We want new cards to see.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Barnes is weird.
You show Mali?
Why not? Oh.
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
Actually, we don't need to. Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, it lets us kill them in 2 turns, right?
You can kill them anyway if you play Maya Keeper and
I
Swipe
think
Face.
we were not going to be playing it. Regardless.
Do we just play Maya Keeper? Do we not show them Maligos? Is that a consideration?
Yeah, don't want.
Control.
That would be good.
Come on, Deck
Of Wonders.
of Wonders. Yeah.
So we're gonna freeze now. We have Twisting Nether, Doom. How many cards do they have in deck?
16.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah. All right.
Wow, we
So
are
Nova.
far off.
I'm not gonna play anything.
Why not?
I want to
good.
play minions.
Well, no, we're thinking
We want.
Nether, Doom, then we can play this for free.
Oh, you don't think like flame strikey stuff gets there?
No, it doesn't actually.
No.
Muzzy's right.
Okay.
No stuff.
Yeah.
No stuff allowed.
So Doom, Nether, what else?
This is kind of a disappointment for Twitch chat, right?
No, it's not yet.
Four-
It's anticipation.
4 Wonders in a row into 4
We're gonna
Pyros.
hit the Nether.
Hit the button, bro. Like, give the people what they want, right?
All right. We might need a bit more than... Wait, no, they're at...
We
40?
just need Doom or Nether. It's gonna kill 7 things.
4 Pyros. Come on.
We just want to see a card that's weird. That's all we're trying to do.
Okay.
You fireball a minion. Because we have block up. So you fireball and you ping a 2/2. In case
We
we don't.
fireball the Yasharaj?
No. You
No, no, no.
fireball it to kill a minion, so they have to
can
play
pull
a card.
another minion.
They have to play a card.
Wait, but if we don't ping face, I'm thinking we ping a 3 where fireball this or fireball this and then ping ping face, and then we have the 4 pyroblast out to the head.
That's good. That's
What are
good.
they? Oh yeah.
They're
Let's go
40.
for that. Yeah. Well, you get the ping afterward, Muzz. But yeah, let's go for that.
Oh yeah, we do. But what if?
So I mean, if we want to go for that out instead of making,
If we force them to show a minion,
Just play a card. Doesn't matter.
let's do that. Yeah, let's hedge. Set up for the 4 Pyroblasts.
Yeah, this game has been long over ever since the Yashraj hit the board, but I mean, we get to see a little bit more of Virtus.pro's deck, and that's kind of what Lovey Lots is aiming for. One of the cards that they're trying to conceal is that Malygos. Malygos is an unusual choice. You can just play really big, fat minions. Alex Straza was one thing that they mentioned.
Yeah, Twig of the World Tree also allows you to do some crazy stuff with Malygos, and sometimes you get it from Yasharaz, sometimes you can tempo it out early, have it on the board, and benefit from spells, so I can imagine the new legendary weapon is in this deck. We haven't seen it yet, so there's a possibility that it's not, but it unlocks a lot. With Malygos, that if Malygos was not in the deck and we hadn't seen it, I would say no. Okay. But I think Malygos just allows that one, like, you know, it's a small case scenario, but still one that's a possibility and can win you some games against slower decks, especially Priest.
Right. I think Virtus.pro kind of wants to draw cards because they don't want to show any more minions. So they could Wild Growth and dump those cards and just cycle.
They could have just...
Unless they have no more minions.
They could have just Ultimate Infestation. But then they would have burned cards.
Yeah.
Arcana, I guess that's one that's quite standard. No Deck of Wonders.
Yeah, Deck of Wonders. Not
Unlucky.
working out, and that's going to be finally Virtus.pro getting onto the board. And a question that Lovey Lots asked during their listen-in was, why didn't Virtus.pro queue this up earlier? It was a really good deck against that, because we thought it was Jade Druid for a long time. That's why I thought they were avoiding playing it.
Yeah.
Jade Druid can struggle a lot against the Secret Mages.
Yeah, and you know, maybe not against a lot of Secret Mage decks does this big Druid shine, but I think against this one specifically that's so burned heavy and so reliant on board stalls plus minions dying, this deck is much better against it. It's got double Earth and Scales as well to protect against burn. So, you know, maybe they should have queued it up earlier. Maybe they didn't want to reveal it. Maybe in Virtus.pro's mind, the Druid was in their lineup to beat something else and not to beat the Secret Mage, and that's why they didn't want to show it earlier. But they do get a win on the board, but it's a long road from here.
Yeah, this version of Druid was played a lot towards the second half of Knights of the Frozen Throne. It already kind of existed in the Journey to Un'Goro meta when you know, people were playing a little bit of Ramp Druid here and there, but Big Druid ended up becoming a real thing towards the last month or so of Knights of the Frozen Throne. It was not only dominating ladder, but it was also doing really well in tournaments. And then I was kind of surprised that it just didn't get a lot of attention. I think people were just still focused on the Jade aspect of it, or even Aggro Druid still had a lot of game too.
Kind of snuck in.
Right, and it's crazy because that's part of the reason why Druid could warrant a ban, because of how flexible the class is. There's just so many strong archetypes that are all around tier 1. I mean, that's why they got nerfed from Knights of the Frozen Throne early on in 9.1. It was because they had 3 decks, maybe even 4, that were actually like tier 1 and only tier 1.
And now the worrying thing for Virtus.pro is Team Lovey Lots has literally every deck besides Mage at their disposal to try and queue up.
Well, they can also just queue decks that Virtus.pro knows and the rest of the teams know. Because right now they're also on a, well, let's win, but let's try to conceal as much information as we can. Yeah. So they can maybe just queue up Murloc Paladin again and go at it. But remember, they have all those different tech cards like Dino size, which can actually go toe-to-toe with Big Druid if they need to, or also just end the game before they can even play a single minion.
I feel like Rogue would also be pretty good in that scenario.
Yeah, Rogue's also good too.
We saw them beat up on a different type of Druid yesterday, but a Druid nonetheless with their Rogue deck, so that could be a possibility. And here's just a small replay. If you guys came in late and were wondering, Deck of Wonders came off Primordial Glyph earlier on in the game because they realized that the other choices were not very appealing. And Deck of Wonders in a game, in a board state where they were quite behind.
Casey even looks over to their team like, really, guys?
Yeah, Zalay was like, well, let's gauge their reactions. And he goes, well, we got a smile and one chuckle.
Yeah, if they can't win the game, at least they win the hearts of the people. But only one scroll ended up coming out, and it was a Bring It On, which was pretty funny. Given that it didn't actually do much, Druid was already at 10 mana, but
it allowed them to Yasharaj and then double Earth and Scales in the same turn.
Yeah, but I mean, even without that, they still would have.
Yeah, they could have stuck the Yasharaj and still been able to Earth and Scales at the next turn, but just a little bit more showmanship from them was available. But sort of the halfish time in the series, so we're giving the players a chance to step away from a moment, use the restroom, grab some more water if they need it. So that's why we're waiting here, and Muzzy's all by himself.
Yeah, here's a replay of some of the big moments that happened yesterday. If you guys missed it, LUL was able to leverage their tempo rogue with a bunch of cards that surprised us at the time. Sonya was a card that we were on the fence about. I think a lot of people maybe saw the potential of it. But Corridor Creeper was one thing that really shocked a lot of people with how well it performed. But even so, like, you know, getting Sonya and being able to capitalize on multiple bone bears or a lot of those small tokens to make Corridor Creeper, excuse me, even cheaper.
Yeah, and you know, this Bowmer was intense because they were able to play it for 1 mana as a 1/1, but then Shadow Sip it back to essentially get the value 3 times from Bone Mare because of the Sonya Shadow Dancer. So a really good card, and that in combination with the Corridor Creeper, as you mentioned, I think was sort of what made their Rogue deck the MVP. I think they split the series yesterday with 3 wins with Rogue and 3 wins with Paladin.
Yeah.
So again, concealing that information is also a big thing in last hero's standing with a closed deck format like we're in here in the Trinity Series. And also makes the other teams have to be scared. With LUL being a step ahead, teams in the Trinity Series finals are also able to resubmit decks every day of the finals because of the new set. So it's actually like they're playing like a regular season weekly match every day and having, instead of a week to prepare, a night.
20 hours to prepare, so.
Not even that. Usually around, you know, 14,
hours.
So it's quite an intense weekend for these teams, and the team that adapts the best is probably the team that's going to come out on top.
True, although I think the Corridor Creeper opening the eyes of the rest of the team, I'm pretty sure not only Virtus.pro has put them in the decks, but I'm pretty sure, I'm looking over at Team Liquid and Complex, and I'm sure that they've, because they're putting it in as well.
Yeah, they're all talking like, let's learn some things from these guys playing.
Paying attention.
Or saying, well, we submitted our decks, and we wish we could go back and submit these decks because they look better.
There's definitely some give and take with resubmissions. The idea that you allow people to innovate and potentially change their decks and, you know, challenge them. But then also you do see some convergence because some strategies are winning. So if you give a team another chance the following day to do something, they might just end up copying a successful formula. So it's a little bit of riskiness, but so far it seems like there is some differences in ideologies, which has led to very different results. LUL's still dominating, and they can afford to lose a game or two before taking up their next win and still be in a comfortable spot.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, they can sort of take a quote-unquote risk of playing maybe not as favored of a matchup, but playing a deck they've already shown in the past yesterday. And if they take a win with that, then it leaves the other teams guessing even more so. Because also to keep in mind, the winner of this match, it is the upper bracket match, automatically goes to the grand finals, and they get a 1-game advantage in the grand finals because they came from the winner's bracket. And Prince Keleseth, and not only that, but Sonya's Shadow Dancer, if they can trade in Prince Keleseth on turn 3.
Can play it again as a 1/1 token.
Yeah.
Which will basically just be the same thing as a Shadow Stepped Prince Keleseth. What?
Oh, man.
Well, I guess the silver lining is, you know, if Virtus.pro, there's no silver lining. Let's listen to that.
Do you want to attack the Keleseth?
I don't think so.
No, me neither.
But next turn we're probably gonna pass once again.
What?
You have to find something next turn, otherwise you're out of this game.
Without attacking Keleseth?
Hmm?
Without attacking Keleseth?
No.
I think attacking...
Yeah.
Hey, what are we doing?
We're drawing captain.
We're drawing
talking about-
captain.
Yeah, how to play it if we draw captain.
Whoa, how many are in our deck? It's just 25.
We got 2 captains in there.
2 out of 25. Woo!
All right, they didn't want to hit the prince. That makes J Blossom less likely.
You're the best.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What can we say?
Oh, fuck out of here.
What's wrong with you? Okay.
I think I played that turn right.
What? That's not fair.
No, it's not.
This is not fair.
No, I agree. I didn't design this
You know
game.
our opening 3 cards are just in our hand?
Yeah.
You did this off the top.
No, I opened a Kel'Seth. No, that was off the top.
No.
Too. Yeah, I just went Kel'Seth, Shadow Step
Off the top on one, but...
Yeah. It started out pretty bad, and then...
I feel icky.
Yeah.
Alright, well, back to reality. The only way we lose is like some Plague shenanigans, some Vate shenanigans.
We're expecting Mire Keeper, because last turn, I think they would have hit our guy if they had a J-Blossom this turn. So coin Mire Keeper is the likely scenario.
That's interesting to consider.
So against Mire Keeper, do we...
I don't hit guys a lot. Oh. So I don't think they have anything.
Yeah. So next turn they want to coin Nourish Wrath. Maybe Arcane Tyrant.
Well,
it's a good 2/2.
Wait.
Okay.
Let's not.
You can backstab the Kel'Seth.
They're never gonna have MC Tech, right?
No, they're big with Barnes. There's no way in the world.
Oh, you want to make a
We can make a 1/1 Kel'Seth again. It makes our guy smaller. I don't like that.
It makes our guy smaller, yeah, against...
How do you feel about tempoing the Sonya, though?
Discounts our Corridor Creeper?
This is what I'm thinking right now. Do we need any more buffs to win this game on our minions?
Not really.
No. I kind of like the board state where it's at.
You want to just dagger.
I just want to dagger.
I think I like that too. And the dagger, right?
Yes, and the dagger. The way I see us losing is they go coin Nourish Wrath into some Plague.
They go coin Nourish, right?
Yeah, and then into like Vate Oakheart or some crap like that.
Right.
So.
Let's dagger and hit him in the face.
Yeah.
So,
can we talk about how unlucky I am for drawing a backstab there?
Yeah, you're the worst.
God.
I didn't do that.
I'm so unlucky.
Zero power, right?
Yep.
Job done.
Funny thing is, if you find any ram card, we can actually play Spreading Plague now already.
Come, try your luck.
Nice card, by the way. Deck building.
Lol. So it's me.
It's me, Bunny.
Love you lots. Cruises to a turn 5 victory off of, well, I mean, pretty much the God draw. You can't really stop a Shadow Step with Kel'Seth, but what you can control is how you lead up to it. So Virtus.pro got hard countered at that point, right? Like, yeah. I mean, Rogue had a bad hand, but you expect the Rogue to have an advantage against the Druid in those scenarios. And let's say that game was close, but Rogue won anyways. You have to take a look at the big picture. The Druid was not supposed to be positioned for this.
No.
Now, Druid won one game and traded. That's a terrible position for that Druid to be in, because that Druid's supposed to be an MVP of the lineup.
It really is. And, you know, now I just feel like even if Team Lovelots loses a few games with Rogue and then with Paladin in or however much, they concealed everything. They can lose with Rogue, lose with Paladin, and then win with another deck, and they've still concealed 2 full classes.
Right.
Literally 0 information from those classes given to the other teams, and they would still be in a crazy advantage going into the grand finals.
Do we have to watch this again? Come on, guys.
Oh, man.
Were we not there just a second ago? All right, thank you.
Great work.
Jeez. It's like, you know, it's like one of those things where you see the car wreck on the highway. You can't not look, but just once you're past it, don't look back.
Yeah. Ah, jeez. But Mage, the only deck remaining for Virtus.pro, and I don't think any Mage deck can beat 5 of Lovelots decks. And I can imagine it's a similar Mage deck to what we saw yesterday from Virtus.pro, which was the control style Mage with Raven Familiars, Dragon Furies. There's a potential that they could have switched it up overnight. They did have the opportunity to resubmit this morning, but that deck worked for them yesterday.
Yeah, Control Mage does have tends to have pretty polarized matchups. It's one of those decks that are very good against specific things, board-oriented pressure stuff like Shaman, or it's really weak against like aggro. I mean, it's actually super bad against Hunter because you're like Frost Novaing nothing. They're like playing nothing in the early game, and then all of a sudden they like pressure you, and then Hunter's able to get damage. But I wonder how much that changes with the Spell Hunter, if they're even playing Spell Hunter. Like, you never know.
Well, this is
supposed
lean
to be a
towards
good
control mage,
Yeah.
and this is a good matchup.
It's supposed to be a good matchup. One of the very few from Virtus.pro remaining. And then we'll see what Lovey-Lots has right on the backswing. Let's go ahead and find out if Lovey-Lots can... You know, actually, with an opening hand like this, double captain, if it goes unchecked, that could overwhelm the mage. Because the mage doesn't have the coin, and having access to that extra card and that coin could be really useful for mage in a lot of scenarios.
I'm thinking double captain and a corridor creeper keep. It's very greedy, but it could be a possibility. And
wow,
Virtus.pro throws away
full mulligan.
Frostbolt.
Frostbolt and the Valet, which, I mean, Valet doesn't have a secret, so you can definitely justify that, but not having the Frostbolt against a really powerful minion like the South Sea Captain.
Job's done.
Could be what ends up making them take a ton of damage. Maybe they're feeling we're in such a bad spot. We have to hard mulligan for the Mana Worm and a Doomsayer.
Yeah, potentially. I don't think we actually even saw a Mana Worm from their deck yesterday. It was very heavy deck, but Lovey-Lots did keep Corridor Creeper plus double captain.
I like it.
And they found a 1-drop on the mulligan, so.
What's so interesting, too, is that a lot of times Corridor Creeper, the earliest it comes down ends up being a 4-mana 5/5. But it can just be such a powerful swing on turn 5 and 6.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like, well, you just kept the 4 or 5 turn 4, turn 5 card in your hand, which is also an interesting thing about because Tempo Rogue tends to not do that very often. So it's interesting how this card ends up making you rethink a lot of those early game mulligan decisions.
Yeah. And coin captain into captain without Frostbolt in hand from Virtus.pro is gonna it's gonna wreck them. And yesterday, I don't think Virtus.pro even had Arcane Intellect in their deck. I think they relied on Raven Familiars to be their form of card draw.
Yeah.
We didn't see it at least, and they got one game where they were very deep in their deck.
Well, I don't know if the second Corridor Creeper is necessary whatsoever, but I feel like if Lovey-Lots just ends up running away with this game and winning the series, they've gotten a lot of different victories, but one of the biggest is the fact that Virtus.pro just seems to have all their greedy decks punished, and Lovey-Lots is putting on the pressure. Let's listen in and see what the teams are thinking.
Later on, Vaporize by attacking with the 1/1 first.
Direwolf positioning.
Yeah, it's the Direwolf. That's what it is, Muzz. Good.
It's built within us, Chuck.
Secret.
Alright. So, Captain.
You 1/1 to face, or what?
No, I start with the captain in case it's Mirror Entity.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter against Mirror Entity.
It could be Explosive Rune.
Yeah, but we're still playing into it. There's not.
You just go face. You can go face with the 1/1 first. There's no downside, right?
Okay. I don't care.
Right, Captain.
Still doing
So
it.
the captain
Far right.
goes far.
Right. Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. What about Meteor?
Yeah, we want the good guys far apart.
If we put 2 4s next to each other, then they can't kill the patches with the Meteor.
Meteor is multiple turns off, so they're gonna have time to set it up. So I really don't think
Okay.
it matters.
Yeah.
Like if they.
I know. I agree. They'd have to glyph it and then wait. And then, yeah.
My heart told me to put it over here.
I trust the Pirate's code. That's all I know.
Go, go, go.
You see how many times I checked
We're
Vaporize
going
that turn?
like we're going into the AoE on 5, so it's that's the concern here. It does 3 a lot. It does 2 sometimes. That's kind of what we're gonna do this game. Is we're gonna put them on having to high roll it, right?
So they're trying to move into that.
Yep. So.
You
Hold
play
on,
that.
So this is.
We
7.
want a deckhand for the damage.
No.
Yes.
Doesn't the deckhand SI kill a Doomsayer when they Nova Doom next turn?
They're gonna Dragon's Fury next
Dragon's
turn.
Fury is more likely.
And we want to punch it. So, okay, let's actually talk about it, right? So the deckhand gets buffed to 3 health. Their thing deals 3 often. We want a deckhand face. It would hit for 4, and then our dagger hits for 5. They go to 14. If they low roll, we have 2 4/4s. We can punch them to 6, punch them to 5, 4, and we have an SI. I mean, I want a deckhand, I think.
We also need to think about how many guys we want to die to discount Corridor Creepers, so we can
I want a
Swashbuckler.
deckhand.
Do you want a Swashbuckler?
I also want to swash.
I want to swash.
Then we
yes.
swash first.
Yeah.
Sure.
Swash
I
is
agree.
Counterspell's insane.
I know. Yeah. Okay.
We always get that.
Anyway,
That's so
I want a
bad.
dagger, deckhand punch, and punch with the dagger. Pretty good.
Or we need to kill it or be dead.
job's done.
Never stay.
Was gemacht, Jungs?
Pop.
Six
It's a pop
plus
at 1.
nine.
Yeah, that's a pop at 1.
So you go Flame Ellie,
You
Cold
attack
Blood,
with dagger last.
and then no, Dagger
SI
goes in
last.
before the SI.
Yeah, I Flame Ellie, Cold Blood.
So let's start with Flame Ellie.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Does this
you're
go in the
right.
middle?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but yeah.
So,
So many
Yep.
Jackie's right.
We already tested Vape, so that. Dagger, SI. Easy small mage.
This guy's toast.
Jackie being able to land the read, saying we're going to play around the Dragon's Fury Potion, but also make sure to set up a situation where we can get the top deck for potential pressure. And Virtus.pro is done. There's no way they can win the series. 6-1 again. Love You Lots is 12-2 this tournament.
And they've only played 3 classes. They've only played the Rogue, the Paladin, and the Mage so far. So pretty insane. And also just a fun thing to note, that's the 3rd time Frosted Jane has come off of Swashbuckler in the Trinity Series.
Twice specifically for Love You
Twice
Lots.
specifically for Love You Lots in 2 days, and once for Virtus.pro, I believe, in their match yesterday that they won. So Swashbuckler really likes pulling that, but Love You Lots solidifying themselves as the team to beat here at the Trinity Series Finals.
They cruise to the grand finals, only losing 2 games, having played 3 classes, concealing a ton of information, and getting a variety of wins. They have a win through good mind reads, like having a counter queue in the very beginning of the series, knowing that their opponents like to start Rogue, and then being able to have some really good games where they're trying to play to their outs and getting the exacties lethal. And then just having some situations where, well, you just that's a card game, that's Hearthstone. You just sometimes get the nuts. And so that's a kind of scary performance from Team Love You Lots back-to-back days.
Yeah, and we'll see, you know, what's going to happen in the grand finals, but they're coming in with a 1-game advantage in the grand finals tomorrow. They've also have the advantage of the fact that they concealed their decks.
Right.
It's quite insane the way that they've managed to solidify themselves going into day number 3. And I don't know, they're looking unbeatable.
Yeah, that's right. So Team Love You Lots is now going to advance to the grand finals. Coming up next, we have the lower bracket semis with Complexity versus Team Liquid, where the winner stays alive, the loser goes home. Dog gave me a thumbs up, so it looks like he's feeling pretty good. We'll see if Team Liquid will be able to break the 4th place curse, not just in Hearthstone. It seems to be a permanent curse all across esports in general. Complexity is the reigning champion, so definitely want to see that as well. Here's a couple of looks at what happened in the previous series. Team Love You Lot started off feisty. This might look like just a default win with Mana Worm and Perfect Curve, but the most important thing was the fact that Mage hit the Rogue, and that was a very good start for Virtus.pro. Virtus.pro, of course, couldn't answer that Mage for 4 games. And also, Love You Lots also had the tech decisions. You saw that one of the highlights of the series was this Leroy play, filling up the board and stopping that noble sacrifice. Lots of cool plays, lots of cool discussion, lots of cool guys waiting with TJ over at Trinity tonight.
That's right. Thanks very much, Dan. Working overtime today because Admiral's out sick, so I teleported across from the caster desk to interview you guys after your win. 12-2 now over 2 days. How do you feel?
Happy. Better than expected.
I feel great.
This is about as well as this could have gone.
Yeah, I for one, really liked the Mage deck. It's sort of a cool take. Brings me back to the original days of Aggro Mage. Is that where the inspiration came from?
That's mine. Yeah. I really wanted to play Leopardome Frost Nova. Leopardome died for this, but...
What about Backstreet Leopard? Did that not make the cut?
It was on the watch list
in
the spreadsheet. No, it didn't make the cut. Well, actually, we haven't revealed if it did or not yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool Mage deck.
You drew almost your whole deck. I believe 3 cards.
So you haven't seen the Wolf Riders yet, right?
We saw the Wolf Riders. We saw
the Simulacrum for the Leroy.
Gotcha.
That's still hidden.
Gotcha. No, I'll be trying that deck later on ladder.
It's
Wolf Rider, Simulacrum. Those are the bottom 3 cards. Gotcha. But no, you guys were also able to conceal a bunch of your decks, and you're getting a 1-game advantage going into the grand finals.
Yep.
At this point, it feels like you guys are just a shoo-in. Do you feel the same?
I think we have a very large advantage compared to last year, which is nice because last year we were in the same spot, not as dominatingly, but we made it through the winner's bracket. There was no edge. And the other thing was there was no resubmit. So kind of the knowledge of decks for the day didn't matter.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we get to watch a match play out. We get to know their archetypes, their cards. They don't get to know ours. And we haven't shown much.
So
and obviously we just get a game win.
It seems like everything's stacking up for you guys. And did you guys expect yesterday when you first built the Rogue deck, did you expect it to be that good? Because you guys are just winning some insane games. Granted, the games today, there was the stone cold nuts, but were you expecting it to be this good?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I didn't expect today to go 6-1. I didn't expect either day to go 6-1, but definitely day one, we knew we were extremely favored. Like, when we woke up and looked at things, we were like, we're going to probably smash them today.
Yeah, the only thing we were pretty much afraid of was, if today they had similar decks to us.
They copied us. And
yeah.
They kind of did, but they still had Miracle Rogue, and we think that's a mistake.
But that means you guys would just have a one-day play experience over them, right?
No.
That's technically what it is. I mean, I told Zalay, we were eating dinner and stuff. We got out of here around 5 or 6 p.m., and it's like, you got to sleep, you got to do all that. It's like, you can't really change your view of Hearthstone and how you know how to play matchups in 6 hours.
Sure, yeah.
I do want to say, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just want to say, I feel like this is like the most favored I've ever been in a tournament. Like, as a team, our preparation for this, I kind of expected this to go very well for us. Not this well, but I'm never this confident going into a tournament.
Wow.
Never.
Big words, but it feels like it's showing as well with how dominant you guys. And as your reward